The Momos are a happy family who know how to catch fun. They enjoy each other's company and get whatever their heart desires, thanks to Mr. Momo's lucrative job. Mrs. Momo kept getting unclear but consistent premonitions of imminent disaster involving her husband in dreams. She tried her best to relate her fears to her husband. He, however, discarded the urgency of her fears, as his business was all on his mind. Few weeks down the line, Mr. Momo was laid off his job as a wave of retrenchment swept over his department, a resultant effect of emergency restructuring process at his place of work.
This is not acceptable. I cannot take this.
Not long after, the Momo's economic status began to dwindle and they had to manage the little resources they have. No thanks to the husband's sudden loss of job.
Darling, you must not recite your faith like this. We must put about what has happened and move on. You've been ignoring my advice of seeing our pastor for some days now. Why? Or is there any other solution inside that you're not telling me? Huh?
You always know me. I don't like sharing my personal experiences with all these daddy Jews. It's not part of me.
But you still have to see the pastor no matter what. Please.
You say so?
Thanks, God.
At this critical juncture, Mr. Momo was willing to see his pastor, as advised by his wife. On learning about Mr. Momo's predicament, Pastor Nero referred him to a pastor colleague of his who is specially gifted in handling issues revolving around financial and work impediment. Pastor Ehono, the referred pastor from Pastor Nero, is a boisterous deliverance minister in one of the new generation Pentecostal churches. He is popularly referred to as the radical minister of God by those who know him. His revelation proved to complicate Mr. Momo's situation the more.
And a lot was revealed to me. Without mincing words, your wife was revealed as the force behind your job loss.
That's not possible. She's a big Christian.
Do not be deceived. I have seen a lot of this in my career in this ministry. She is the force behind your job loss.
I've told you to leave my house. You will not agree with me. You are the cause of my predicament.
The aftermath of Pastor Ehono's suggested solution to Mr. Momo's occupational setback was a divisive home.
He's telling your family to come and stay with me.
Honey, come here.
We're
not going anywhere.
You are leaving my house.
We're not leaving.
You are leaving my house.
We're not going anywhere. We're not. What is it? We're not going anywhere.
Don't let me force you out.
No, we're not going anywhere. No. We're not leaving. No.
It's been 2 years since Mrs. Momo and her daughter were sent packing. Though she kept sending emissaries to plead with her husband, it could not be reasoned with. At the moment, she is both financially and emotionally drained. She urgently needs a way out.
Hello viewers at home, you're welcome to another exciting time on Decisions, and I'm your host Abigail Onotara. Today we want to talk about something very, like I said, very important. Counselled. The scripture says that in the multitude of counsel there is safety. But we've seen situations where people have gone to get counsel and have gotten confused. So today we want to help you to do that. We want to help talk about things that affect the home. So don't go nowhere, sit back. We'll be back shortly to introduce our seasoned guest. You want to listen to them. We'll be back soon. Hello viewers at home, you're welcome. Like I said before, we have wonderful guests to do this with us. On my close left is Reverend Ezekiel Akpeje. He's the senior pastor of CGMI, Jedo District Headquarters, Delta State. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you. Shalom.
And on my far left is our own Mr. Kimberla Praise, is the CEO of Christ Life International Family Foundation. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Viewers at home, like we said before, counselled. And so we just looked at a short clip, where for safety, like scripture says, somebody have gotten, I don't know if I should call it safe. I should call that counsel safe. But we want to look at it. Some persons call some things that are not spiritual problems. We're going to looking at all that. Some people spiritualize things that they should use their common sense to analyze. We're going to be looking at all that. But let's look at the root cause of this. There is a notion of housewife. I will call it housewifing. Some make themselves, some they make them. Is there a danger to this? Is there a psychological defect to this? And for men that think, okay, because of how rosy their work is right now, that build their life, their future on this, what's the danger to it, if there is?
The danger is that it's a little bit contradicting God's word. God's word said that if the purpose to which God has brought them together is that together they build a home. And when one is falling, the other is able to raise him up. And so when you feel you are the only one to fall and raise yourself up, there's a problem. You must understand that you need to have your partner engaged in whatever you are doing or something else. For example, if you are a doctor, you need to bring up your partner into the business so that both of you are in the business. Or you give her specialties, what she's known to do. Give her and bring her up, because in such doing, you are looking into your future to make sure that tomorrow, if you are down, she's up to support. There will be nothing like total collapse in the house. That's why God gave us the left and the right hand. They work together to produce an effective and efficient, what we call success.
Okay.
So it's very wrong to be one-sided.
Okay.
Feeling that you are the strong man who can just
Always carry it.
yes, carry you home.
Okay.
The wife is to be a helpmate, to help you achieve your dreams and to support you in the time of need.
Okay.
So if that woman is handicapped, you find that
I like
yes,
that
if that woman is handicapped,
That's
she
right.
has nothing to do when you are down.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so
For example, my wife and myself, we have been working from the onset. And when I looked at her, I said, I married her when she had school set. I sent her to school to empower her. And today, we're both working together and retired and then working again. If she was left like that kind of full housewife, by now, what is biting out on this nation would have been biting on us. But I thank God, both of us together, we've built a home and raised up a generation that will never be poor.
Mr. Praise, we see a situation where it's as though the man has gone so high and the wife is far. So communication is actually breached in the home. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The man has improved himself so high and the wife is down here. When they think they are far in thinking, how do we help them? To help them balance up?
Okay, that is a scenario of what I would call being unequally yoked with a believer. So it's not only unbelievers you can be unequally yoked with, you can be unequally yoked with a believer. But before I address that, let me first mention something with what Reverend Akweju just said with talking about housewife. Houses don't marry wives.
Okay.
So in actual sense, there's nothing like housewife.
Housewife.
You may have somebody sitting at home not doing anything. That's a kind of laziness. It doesn't matter whether it originates from the man, whether it's the man that tells the wife, sit down at home, I'll feed you, make you fat, don't do anything. She's not helping you. You are in quotes, like breaking the scriptures. Everybody needs to put hands on deck to make things work. So houses don't marry wife. There's nothing like housewife. If you are a woman out there and you feel you're a housewife, I don't know where you get that from. You need to support men. These days, men are looking for bread supporters, not bread eaters. I know usually they call the men the bread winners, but nobody wants to marry a bread loser. You need to support. Now, when it comes to communication in a home, there is hardly an instance where you will find the man and the woman just starting a home, reasoning at the same level. Hardly. It's either the man will be higher in reasoning or the woman will be higher. It's not always the man better off. There are women that are more educated than their men. You might have a woman that has a PhD and a man that has an OND, and from preachings and messages from the pulpit, we tell the men, don't belittle yourself. Be a man of destiny. Know where you are going. The fact that you have an OND does not mean that you can't get married to a woman with a PhD. But that doesn't mean you should be proud also. The same thing we tell the women. Oh, the fact that you have a PhD, don't look down on all the men. The man that is going to make something out of you may be someone that is not even educated. Okay, fine. Some people will not agree with that, but there are possibilities in this. So as long as you are God-led, you will make the right decision. But look at it. Your husband is an OND holder. You are a PhD holder. Honestly, you can't see things the same way. So you are not reasoning the same way. It actually does not benefit the family for the PhD holder to drop all her knowledge and wisdom and understanding and start reasoning like an OND person. You won't even be able to relate with your mate. In the industry, you will be left behind. You can't flow. So you see, you downgrade yourself. Downgrade is never good. But I don't know whether there's anywhere downgrade is good. Downgrade is never good. Upgrade is better. Everybody is upgrading. Yes. So if you see somebody say because of marriage you are downgrading, I don't think you are doing well. So the truth is that husbands, wives, when you're starting a home, you may not reason together. The first thing for you to do is to bring yourself to a level. Sometimes the woman, maybe being higher, may need to come down a little bit. But the man, the person that is deficient needs to really come up. Yes. The other person needs to be understanding, humble to come down, but the other person needs to really go up. So if you say, husband, your wife is not doing so well, you need to come down to where she is, you may never be able to go up again. You know, if you say, okay, you want to force the woman to come to where you are, before she gets there, she may just die.
But I think sometimes the reason why they do this is they want someone to be at home to take care of things.
Oh, talking about women being at home. When you are starting a family, you are just getting married. You want somebody to stay at home to take care of what? The house, the windows, the chairs, if burglars come into the house, there's nothing the woman can do. There's nothing. Okay. But when you start having a family, it all depends on your background, depends on the situation where you find yourself. You may say, okay, sometimes in some situations, it may be better for your wife to stay at home to manage the home than for her to go seek a job, because if she goes out, how much is going to earn? If you are as a man, you are a CEO, you make a lot of money and all that, and the woman, if she goes out to get a job, she may not make that much more. You have to look at the value, the monetary compensation you will get by going out versus what you stand to lose if you don't take good care of the home. You know, you have to balance there. So, but the point is that you can't just tell the wife to sit at home, say, manage the home. What is in the home that she's managing?
Okay, you said something, but I want Pedro to talk about it more. Okay, you said that if you have to look at the monetary aspect. I don't think so.
No, I mean compare the money you are going to get outside with. Okay, let me give you an example. My wife doesn't earn any money. She doesn't bring any extra naira into the home. But she prevents a lot of naira from being lost. So right now, in fact, I value what she's doing far more than going out to go and get any money. How much is she going to get? If she goes out, maybe she gets 100,000 and she brings it into the home. But because she's not in the home, we are losing 300. Where's the sense in that?
Okay, but I think there's a part of the woman knowing that she's. You said something. You know that she's contributing this.
Yes.
I've seen situations where the man said, "Well, since I'm married, how much have you brought?" So there is that part of it.
Maybe the man doesn't know what he's saying. How much have you brought? Leave her alone. Let her go and do
so
something.
So if I'm of the notion, okay, Madia said it in it, and apparently one of their collection said, you've been in this house, you've been quickly doing this managing house. This is how much you're worth. So I'm of the notion that if you're telling the woman to not work, like you said, the monetary value, she should be paid. It should be in an account. That's the way I think.
Okay.
It should be an account. So if, for instance, something like this, imagine where I'm not hungry, there's no food because she has always been fend for. She can't fend for herself. Even if she wants to now, there's no money anywhere. Mm-hmm. So if she's being paid, this is the value she's worth. That money should be in an account.
Okay, so you're talking about maybe husbands
yes.
Giving remunerations to their wives, if the wife is at home as a stay-at-home mom or something, the way they call it.
Yeah, okay. I think it's part of it.
I know families that practice that and it's working for them. It's all about what works for you.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, reduce the value of the woman by just making her to stay at home is of no benefit. It's of no benefit. So it's not all about money.
Yeah.
It's not all about money. It's about value. It's about value. So it may be in monetary term, it may not be in monetary term. So you have to look at it. Sometimes you have to let money go for you to get something else. But if you are in a situation where financially you are not stable, no one is sure of tomorrow financially. Look at the man, he eventually lost his job, and when he lost his job, as a lot of people say, he started seeing a lot of witches in a lot of places. Just because he doesn't have it. If he has a job, he won't even have the time to know whether there's a witch somewhere.
Then that will bring us to the next one to talk about. Okay, the next one to talk about is some persons spiritualize things that they should analyze, they make it spiritual problem. So I want you to shed more light on that. How can we go out of ignorance? Because I think some of these things, most of them is a function of ignorance, not witches. So how do we balance that? How do we get to equip ourselves with knowledge, particularly economical knowledge, empowerment? How do we get that?
Then we need to read.
Okay.
We need to be vast in reading books. We need to read. We need to attend seminars and to know. By the time the light of knowledge shines into your darkness of ignorance, it will be eliminated. And before you know, you will be behaving not like a child, but like a mature someone. Look at that case we've just seen. We are going to that?
Yes. Okay.
It's pure ignorance. Pure. The woman has told you, look, God is revealing to us that something's about happening. And as the woman was concerned, the same woman pressed you to see the pastor, so that the pastor would give you counsel.
It's very hot when you start accusing that woman.
You went,
yes,
you went as far as seeing the pastor, but it wasn't the woman who asked you to see the other pastor. So somehow or the other, your steps were not ordered appropriately. Somebody ordered you to see somebody else. That pastor was supposed to counsel, but he lacked knowledge. Yeah. He wasn't a wise pastor. I can't give my flock to somebody to counsel. It's because some of them go into ministry without really going through the ethics
the rudiments of ministry.
You just see them, and then before you know, it says general overseer. Yeah. So what is wrong there is that he lacked knowledge. He needs to be trained. He was supposed to counsel his.
Okay, but if I may throw a light in that one, to me, I still feel that when pastors go into ministry, some of them they have mentors, some of them they have other pastors that are maybe more skilled or more spiritual in some aspects than others. That may be the reason why they refer some cases that okay, maybe you can meet this other pastor. He has more knowledge or more understanding. I think it's a humility. It's a show of humility on the part of that pastor.
But sometimes it's not the case. So right now, with the way prophetic are right now, it's not the case. It's connection. They call it networking. Pastors are doing networking right now. Okay, we have to go on the short break. We'll come back. We'll talk more on this. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Hello viewers at home, you're welcome back. Like we were saying before we went on a short break, we talked about pastors networking. Like we said, the topic is counsel. But now that pastors are networking, how do you shield yourself and get the right counsel? And when you said get information, I want you to, Pastor, you are a pastor, you've been in the ministry for a while. I want you to talk more on Christians knowing what God says for themselves. Because the Bible says the Berean church, they went to check if those things were so. So when a person tells you this is it and it's not it, you know what's the importance, what's the validity of the word of God for an individual as a person. Generally, not just in marriage, in life, and every facet of life. What's the power of the word of God, the knowledge of the word of God?
Too important. When Jesus gave instructions, he said, go teach them. Teach them my words so that they'll be able to observe. So when those words are not taught, they can't observe anything. So the basic point is that you need to disciple your members so that they grow from grace to another level of grace of knowledge. And in such way, they were babes yesterday, but today they are now matured people in in the Lord. This is absent today. No discipling any longer in the body of Christ. You see people not discipling people, they are their members. And that's where there's a void, a very big vacuum of knowledge. People are not knowledgeable of who the Lord is and his ways. And the veritics of God. The veritics of God means those short truths that are in truthfulness, precepts that will last them. So people are just going with just looking for miracles and that. They are not taught. We are asked to disciple people. So when that is not there, you find your members, they are all babes at the advantage of wolves who will consume them. But if you are a good shepherd, teach them the word. Nothing can replace teaching. So we need to know, and that's what has kept us till now. We ravaged the world, we ate the world, we were so filled, every flesh of us was the world, so rich in the world that, as you are saying, we can be able to judge whether this is true or not, right at that point. But we're not so when we began. We were young, we were youths, and we grew into this by attending seminars, conventions. People are no more attending conventions, they sit at home. But they need to go for, and even pastors, we need to go for training and retraining courses.
Okay, apart from part of the training,
Yes.
what about the part of your own personal pursuits?
Yeah, every morning you must eat the word of God. Every day you must have a portion of God's word in you.
Okay.
For in it you have life.
Okay, I think that settles this part of the fact that everything is not spiritual.
Yeah, that's why
It's
many
knowledge.
people are deceived. The devil has no other alternative but to deceive people from Genesis to Revelation.
Even the Bible says that when you be revealed in Isaiah, that people will wonder, is it a small thing that's deceiving everybody? Why?
Yes.
He's thriving on ignorance.
Yes.
The devil thrives on ignorance.
Finished.
His conquers too, his instruments too, they still thrive on ignorance. So please get informed. That's on the physical, the spiritual part of this. Okay, let's look at the economical part of this. Because he was working, and he felt all was fair, all was well, all was perfect. Mr. Poe is going to talk about this. He was working, all was perfect. What's the power of husbands, fathers investing in their homes? Investing in their homes when it's very, very booming and flowing and strong. What's the power of that?
As long as the earth endures, seed time
and harvest.
and harvest time will not cease. That's what the Bible says. You can choose to ignore the seed time. It's nobody's headache. When it's time for harvest, let's not say you go hungry, you go fast. you just try and spiritualize it and just fast. Now, it's good to invest. We need to invest. The Bible even says there is he that withholdeth more than is meet. Withholdeth more than is meet. That means that you should give, but there are some portion you should withhold. So if you withhold too much, is a problem. If you withhold less, it's also a problem.
Okay.
So there's one you need to withhold for you to invest. Because if you have nothing in your hands, you can't invest anything. If you have nothing in your hands, God does not have anything to bless. So you need to invest. So if you have the days of windfall, like it was in the country at the time that crude oil was sold for very high amount and there was a lot of money and all that, and you didn't save, then you come to a situation like this period now that you have to start dropping the benchmark for the budget and all that. So if you have a time in your life, for those of you out there, you have a time in your life, you are doing well, you are able to afford your basics, and you are able to afford some extra, learn to save some extra for investment. But this is where another challenge is. Not all investments are safe for everybody. Other people may be doing it and it's working for them, but it may not work for you. That's why you need to pray. That's why you need to seek counsel. That's why you need to have good understanding about the business that you intend to do. But eating all your tomorrow today, there's no wisdom behind it. There's no wisdom behind it. So the man ought to have done something for his wife. Like I said before, houses don't marry wives. So if you know that the job you are doing, you are not the owner of the company. Everybody will let the job go someday. Even the owner of the company will leave the company someday. So what are you going to do by then? If you don't have any other source of livelihood or something to take care of yourself when you have you have left the company. It's not even pension. No. It's not even pension. Some people think that I sit on my pension, I will enjoy. These days, we've heard of fraud in pension service now. Eh? So it's not even a guarantee that you have worked and when you retire, your pension will take care of you. It's a no. The best thing you can do is, by the grace of God, through God's inspiration, manage your money by yourself. Not government managing your money for you or any other person managing your money for you. Even if you have to put in an investment in the bank or something, your two eyes have to be on it. You have to see how it is going and how it is coming. That's what you can be sure of. So establish the business with your wife that is in your house. You live together, you do things together, you communicate together. It's the best you can do, rather than putting it in trust of somebody else outside who may take advantage of you. Many of us, including me, we falling victim of that. So now we are kind of wiser. We don't allow that to happen again. I won't do any business unless my wife is involved. Okay, so I think that is it.
Okay, well, that actually settles it. You've heard. Invest in your home. It's safer. At least you can. If it spoils, it's our own that spoils now. And if it's good, it's our own that is good. So please, the job is not forever, like you've heard.
And sorry, so if I may add, when you are doing investment, maybe with your family and all that, and things are not working the way you expect, it happens sometimes. It doesn't mean you should just sit on it. You seek counsel from other places. Ask other people that are doing the businesses and all those kind of things, so you make things better, because that can now even become another source of challenge in the home. The husband start accusing the wife. I gave you 300,000 last week. Where is the business? The wife says the thing has gone down. It becomes another source. So we should be wise about that.
So do you think we should get a third person, someone that is very good in the business, someone that is very good in that area? So you make it strictly business. Because sometimes there is a thin line between turning this business into, like you said, she doesn't manage it well, and then our own, strictly business. This is what comes, this is the capital, this is the gain. I think it should be run like that.
The thing is that I think husbands can run businesses with their wives, but it requires a lot of wisdom. I once heard someone say, it happened to me also, but I once heard someone say that husbands can't teach their wives how to drive. It's usually a problem. It's usually a problem. Husbands know how to drive, but to teach your wife to drive is a problem. But another person can teach your wife and she will learn. But when you teach your wife, you may tend not to learn.